Everything about the song, right? This song, this song. Still when riding the car, it sounds like playing the song, right?
Who?
Still riding the car, it sounds like playing the song, right? The people in the song, they think it's a real song. They think it's a real song.
I mean, because you playing it in the car.
Oh, I was playing it on everyone had asked me. They were talking about following the children. That was the first time they heard it.
I'm just like imagining you driving this car and like, well, this on repeat. You know all the words.
No, repeat. I listen to this. I listen to other songs.
That's what they feel like.
No, they just in rotation. That's all. I like it.
Breaking down the hate, we rebuild our narrative. It's never too late. Hear about the scholars, the athletes, the artists in the world full of chaos. Their light is the sharpest. Yeah, tune in, don't miss it. We got something to share. Above average black men spreading love everywhere. From the classroom to the boardroom, making our way, paving paths for the future. Come join us.
Welcome to another episode of Above Average Black Men. Yours truly, Chris Bender. It's been a minute since we've been together. Here, go ahead.
Chris Jr., as always, here to empower, inspire, and uplift. Devin Pender here to remind y'all to like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, and interact with us.
Should have took some clips to show, put on from the wedding, but I didn't think about that, man. But anyway, tonight's show's gonna be interesting, man, because we're gonna talk about the journey from, dating to engage to marriage. And it's kind of funny because like when I went to the doctor today, me and the nurse assistant kind of got into the same conversation. About dating and engagement in marriage. And she's an Indian person. She was saying, oh, she don't want a real big marriage. She wants to elope. Indians typically have huge things. And she was saying, I said, well, aren't Indians like really family? She said, yeah, but I don't have any family. All my family's in Boston. So my mom wants to invite a bunch of people who I don't know.
Well, what should come to find out is it's not about you. So.
Yeah, it's funny because that's what she said. Well, that's what I told her. I said, it's about you. But yeah.
It doesn't. I said all those things.
So it's a journey. So we talk about the journey. So, I can add some info. Your mom told me I was the old 40. So she don't know how much I could add to it. But
I mean, it's because it's definitely different now. Sometimes you try to express and say that.
It's different, but it's different, but it's the same. I mean, some of the things, are just ageless, man. It just gotta repeat itself.
I don't know.
It just repeats itself. Like it was funny because the day I was having flashbacks.
Like, something different. We're in a different age.
Oh yeah, they're different. They're distinct differences. There are distinct differences. But some of the stuff is like, it just some of the stuff is like just people involved.
Like what? Like I'm trying to think what's because even though there are things that people would say are timeless and traditional, I think we have gone or timeless. I do think people try to take some of those things to the extreme.
I don't like
the next level.
There's a lot, like for instance, people not doing what they say they're gonna do. That's not new. That's something that happens all the time, man. You count on people to do something, whatever it is, and you think if you checking a box off.
That's life.
That's right. That's what I'm saying, though. That's what they or people really want to come for the party. They ain't interested in nothing else. They just want to come for the party, So I'm just saying, some of those things are. Some of it's new because I saw this with Yo-Yo. I was brand new, but I was like, what?
It is people that did just want to come for the party. I'm mad that they wasn't bar. People legit mad that they wasn't included. Like they see the pictures and be like, "Oh, I can't believe it. I wasn't invited too." People that I feel like I don't even know like that or that well, which is strange to me. Like that they could feel that attached to it.
But what I thought was funny was when you said that he was open bar. Some people didn't invite you to the wedding, but they was like, you should invite them to yours. That I thought was pretty funny. That's a lot of nerve.
Like, what sense did that make? I mean, you think you would understand the cost of a plate? Like you can't invite them all. It's a select list, and sometimes people don't make it.
But people don't look at it that like it was funny because we'll get into the.
Because me, I don't feel less about you.
My moment was because you was teasing me about the show. They were laughing at it. The wedding hadn't started, man. They were, and the dude was attacking the cigar bar. I'm like, yo, the wedding, we haven't even walked down the aisle yet. And he over there passing them out.
You know, cigar bar.
Yeah, he's like, yo, you gotta get one. You gotta
hold yourself up for yourself.
Yo, he sit there and prop his feet up, and I'm thinking to myself, well, he ain't coming down to the sea. He didn't want to start, but he was smoking his cigar. So it was just funny, man. Then at the end, like, yo, can I have the whole box? I was okay.
Can I have the whole box?
First, he started by saying, "This is a nice box." This box was because we had took them all, and put them in the box.
Yeah.
So I had excess ones, which I was giving out, but I tried.
I should have given away a couple because I just know we don't get through all those cigars.
It was like so. It was like looking at the whole box. First of all, I'm saying, yo, man,
a lot of cigars.
I'm sweating like a pig loading this truck, and you ain't helping. You telling me, can you have the whole box?
I guess he's talking about me.
No,
you like, it was my day.
No. Angela really wanted me to have a cigar bar. She did. She really wanted me to have a cigar bar. And we was thinking, so I said, well, let me call, my brother. That's what he do. That's what he does. So I got to give him his props because he said, yeah, he explained to her how it works and everything. Because I don't smoke.
Yeah.
And then he said, so I said, well, how much I got to get? He said, don't worry about it. He put through. Yeah. So I'm thinking, okay, he's going to bring like 20 cigars, man.
It was a lot of cigars.
And he was like, how many people, So I said, I don't know. I said, I don't smoke. I could begin to tell you this. So he hooked it up. I mean, no doubt about it. He hooked it up, man. And they were decent cigars.
Yeah. Yeah,
they weren't like El Productos,
Nah, they were great cigars.
He did a real nice job. So I'm gonna give him a shout out for that. He did. So, but let's get into this conversation, man, because it was funny. Because watching you go through it, and then watching you come down the aisle, it was kind of interesting.
Yeah,
watching you go through it, and I'll get it. I'll get into what you
come. Yeah, hear everybody's perspective that they would be. Nice to hear. Like, yeah, so that you first. And I'll go like just the whole coming down the aisle.
Yeah, it was very interesting, especially seeing I remember it was Uncle Jeffrey wedding. I'm pretty sure I remember being at the ring there and that or something. I remember Uncle Ed, Uncle Leonard's wedding, Nicole's wedding. So it's very different, seeing you guys just walk down the aisle, especially being an adult now, get the full understanding of what the day is.
And partaking in an open bar. Yeah, you got your money.
But yeah, it was an interesting celebration of love and I was proud to be there.
I want to make sure your elbow wasn't sore, man. Every time I walk past, I was like, no, you got pictures out. And it was funny because there's three things. The first thing I thought was really funny because a lot of people commented on the hug when we hugged, when you came down the aisle. And it was pretty long. A lot of people, not in a bad way, but a lot of people they commented on it. So that was one thing that kind of stood out to me. The second thing to me was kind of interesting because as you're coming down the aisle, right? I'm standing there and I'm watching and I'm thinking, and it just got real quiet. I don't know if you noticed it just got real quiet. Yeah. And I'm thinking, why is it so quiet? I mean, it was like nobody was. Usually when the bride comes down, it gets real quiet, but it got real quiet and the music was kind of low. And I'm sitting there, man, and so I told you, Mom, I share with people. I'm starting to get emotional. So I'm sitting there like, man, it was different with Nicole because that's your daughter. But when you look at your son, you're like, man, he gets it. You think all the time you said things that you think the kid don't get it, or he just, and I was like, man, he's his own man. You know what I mean? Like he's about to take on some responsibilities. He's married, and I'm looking out there, I'm seeing your high school coach, I'm seeing, teach from high school, I'm looking at all your childhood friends, man. And I'm like, for me, and I told you, Mom, that was like my perfect moment because I'm looking, I see Nicole, I see Chris, you know what I mean? I see Lewis, of course, Mackenzie, can't be complete without him, of course, Mackenzie. Yeah, but for me, it was like a perfect moment, man. So I'm trying not to cry. And you look like you were getting a little teary too. You look like you were trying. So I'm trying not to cry, man. It's like, man, I can't believe this. Like, yo, this is my oldest son is getting, he's getting married. And it's like, man, and I'm looking at my kids. My kids are grown. So you start having these memories like when the bikes were in the driveway, now the cars are in the driveway. You start the memories of, the first one to go to high school, the first one to go to college, the first one to graduate. Those trips up and down the road. We dragging Devin to see basketball games, and like Devin's grown. But the third was like, yo, this is a grown man, not 18, 19, 20. This is a grown man, and just and looking at Nicole, it's like, man, Nicole's a mom. All this like hit me at one time, man. I'm trying not to cry because everybody looking at me like, yo, and I'm like, man, it's just amazing when you see your kids, and you realize I told your mom, because afterwards I said to your mom, I said, man, I don't know how we did it, but we raised good people. I don't know.
Ultimately the goal, right?
Yeah, but it was we didn't have a blueprint. I mean, you had and stuff. So he's like, man, I'm sitting there watching, and then it was cool because it was really a lot of people there that meant something to us, that meant something to the mom. Sometimes you got a wedding and you got all the people out there, man, they just there. But when you look out there and you see, like Justin now, and you see Aaron who's been around forever, you try to see these faces like, man, Drew, Pat Flurry, you think about high school, it's like, man, these kids were, these guys were part of the journey. And look at you see your college coach back there, like it's almost every part of your life was represented there. I always listen with somebody from Kane. It's always, but it was kind of like, wow. And I was telling the guys, it was like, man, it was like that perfect moment. You had a day, you don't have many days like that, but it was. I mean, man, my whole family's here, man. It was pretty cool. And then I got a little humor. The third part was when Justin was trying to get the case from Mackenzie. Mackenzie couldn't open the case, and so Justin was trying to take the case. Man, Mackenzie looked at him like, if you don't leave me alone, man, he snapped the case back and he opened it. So we were laughing at that because he was like, yo, I can do this. And then at the end, he just stuck his arm out. I thought we were gonna struggle with that. The leaving part.
Nah, he
one day stuck his arm. Yeah. So when you see those things from my perspective, it's like, man, I'm dad, I'm granddad. And like now I got another daughter. So that was like for me was pretty amazing, man. Then you think about the process, like how was it though? Because you meet somebody and your mom and I was kind of like rapid, but you meet somebody, man. So walk us through that. What was that like, man?
Like from the beginning of like
just like you meet somebody and you do like how do you figure out this is the one, and you have extravagant, engagement, so that actually took a lot of planning.
Extravagant. I appreciate that,
It was. How did that your mom marry me in the car, man?
I would see that's one of the differences that we're talking about here. It's not that simple. No, can't get rid of it. I wish we could, but I feel like the dating part was interesting. I'm not gonna say I kind of went into it with some low expectations, honestly. Like, cause I do think that people tend to now put a lot on dating, like in terms of like even going out with the mindset of like, oh my goodness, this person check be perfect in this one way. I feel like and get to know this person. So I feel like I didn't put a lot of pressure on. I mean, I probably had that mindset for a long time, but kind of entering with that mindset, and then seeing that we were like minded in a lot of ways, I feel like that probably made us grow closer in a lot of ways. Like we talked a lot. She's definitely probably way more of a talker than me. Some might think that I am.
But it's funny because if I go back and see, to me, I'm looking and I was thinking about this when I was up front from the perspective of those conversations, is how hard it is to, even on the show, we talk about the show, how hard it is to meet somebody, man, and this person is this person that, and you don't know how it is that out here trying to find somebody. So to watch you go through that progression, both of y'all, because definitely in the relationship, it's kind of interesting from my perspective because I remember talking about it. You act like, come on, man. Yeah, it don't happen anymore. People don't date anymore. People don't do that anymore. So to me, that part was interesting.
I mean, I feel like we kind of talked a lot and found out that we had a lot of things in common, like just how we felt about our families. Like we pretty close, tight knit families, and ultimately, I feel like that was like almost a shared vision in a lot of ways that what we want for our own families if we wanted to have one, which of course now we do. But then just the work ethic, the passion, and how we felt about life, and I think how we actually were handling some of our differences. It wasn't perfect all the time, but like how we could in some moments be able to talk through things or how we could bounce back from things. I think that was also another thing that he's like, okay, like we willing to work with each other, we want to work with each other. And I just once we kind of had those mutual understandings of like one, how we wanted to treat each other, and how we had a vision for what we kind of ultimately wanted our lives to look like. I think that just kind of really, really helped us in the beginning, see, like, all right, we on the same thing. Like, we want to make this work, and this is how we can make this work, and these are the things we are going to do to make sure it works and get to the finish line. And I think it kind of made us both feel better and more secure about, like, we didn't necessarily see marriage being, I would say, probably in our futures, but when we kind of had those conversations and was under the same understanding, then we showed each other those things too. Not just kind of talking about it, but actually doing a lot of these things. Like I don't know, we just realized that we could work with each other and we wanted to work with each other. And it felt good to kind of get to the finish line, not the finish line, but like the stage or the beginning of like just the next chapter, like even for the engagement, like that was a lot of build up.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, because one, knowing she wanted to get that done, at this point in time, hearing the conversation was like, you can't help but bring it up in everything that you do. Somehow we talking about rings, but no, like, and I knew in my mind that I wanted to marry her, but it was also, you want to get the ring, you want things to be right, you wanted to plan it out, you want to involve some of these people, but that was. Oh my goodness, that really was pissed me off a little. I'm not gonna lie, just because the idea of like I know I'm going to do it, but she constantly like, but when, like, and I'm like, what sense does this make? Do you want me to give you the date of the engagement? Then it just takes all the surprise away. Like, just relax.
But you learned the valuable lesson. See, the thing about women need to know, but women need to know. They're
you don't.
But they need to know that's who they are. It's funny because there were things like, like your mom would ask me stuff that, I knew if I told her it would lead to a bunch of other stuff. So I was like, just blowing it off. And it was the same thing. When you win? When's it happen?
You want to know why it doesn't make sense? Because on the same breath, they would say, I want you to plan something. I want it to be creative, surprise. How can you say that and then be like, yo,
because it sounds good.
Exactly.
That's like the person. That's like the person who says, and when they says, oh man, it's like, say somebody give them a gift and it's not equal value, and they say, well, it don't matter, but it matters. You know it matters. Or you had a Pollyanna, they give out a gift of $25, somebody give them $1 for a gift. Oh, it's cool, but it matters. So it's kind of the same thing, man. I think sometimes it's just what they say, man. But see,
exactly.
You got early training.
I know. I think I had a good example in this household. How to kind of deal with certain things and what to look for, and it's still kind of had to learn by fire, by trial of life. Like that, you still gotta have that too. I had some of those,
because you said it, because it's different. The situations may be similar, but you got different people, so it's different.
Yeah.
So like that troubled me when I first got married, and people try to explain from their perspective, but it's not, because you're dealing with two different kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know what I mean? So it's different.
The engagement though, I was happy with how that went though, because I understood what she wanted in a sense. That was confusing too. They played it around. Yeah, but this is another thing they don't know what they want. Like wanted to include all her family. Listen, I'm telling you right now, wanted to include all her family, but wanted to be small.
Yeah,
include everybody to be small. I don't want it to be in front of everybody, but I want to celebrate with everybody afterwards.
But it's
like, what?
But it's the same thing when they say, well, we got to keep the cost down, but then you picking top-notch stuff. You picking, you keep adding stuff. So, but that's stuff. Son,
I did it though. You saw it.
You're gonna go through that to watch the match.
I understand.
It's just no matter what it is, man.
It's like, you know what though? I felt proud because I made it happen.
You did.
It sounded crazy. I was like,
okay. You handled it well. Even that day, people have no idea what that day was like. Like I was exhausted, man. I was tired. People had no idea what that day was like. And it was a good thing. I told your mom, because everybody came and had a great time. And everybody I talked to talked about how great it was, how spectacular it was. It was a great time. They felt like it was really family oriented. Different people, everybody was walking around talking to everybody. It wasn't like this click and that click. It was. But that day was some work, man.
Yeah, I mean, well, not like the wedding day. So like,
Yeah, that wedding day I'm talking about. That wedding day.
I didn't know the engagement. The
The
engagement.
weather was nice though.
The wedding day was because it was
Yeah, that was
supposed to.
great 'cause it's on the way.
It was supposed to rain. Like just looking at it a week or so ahead, and then
4 days. And then it said,
Yeah.
it was in the day before. It said chance of rain. The number kept going down.
cleared up.
But that was the time though. The time frame was like was supposed to rain around that time and it didn't.
It couldn't have been a better.
So let's talk about the wedding planning part. How was that? What was that
I'm
like?
just trying to keep it positive, Jack.
It's over now. It's over. Look, let's go this beer before.
Still brings me nightmares. No, because so the wedding planning part, man, she's creative. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah.
Ambitious, a lot of dreams and a lot of visions.
Look over to your left, my brother.
Yes, and we still have to sell some of these visions. So if you plan a wedding and you need some
Did
roses,
you see the planner when you came in?
yeah. So we might listen. Our next above average black man might be an infomercial where we just gonna put some of this stuff up.
But you see the planner when we did the planner.
I see it. But we got more. We might be becoming a rental service.
We fighting the deer, right? So your mom is like, yo, we need to put these artificial plants out there. To me, I'm down with it because they're choking. I'm about tired of them, man. I'm about
Being
tired
like
of
dead deer.
I don't care. I go and tell you, come get them. I'm just tired of them. But anyway, what was it like? Because the planning part,
It was up and down, I will say. Because it was times where I tried to keep my cool, but it was times where it was like, oh my goodness, how are we going to pay for all of this? Like, especially at the beginning, like, she wanted to do the thing with all these roses. Like, you saw all the roses that was around.
Yeah, but I gotta
do that.
I gotta give you a shout out, man. That was, let me tell you.
No, that's fine. They were pretty. But
the end result was spectacular.
To do it with real roses would have
killed you, man. You still been paying for them.
It was the cost of a car, almost a used car.
But take this out. You wouldn't have them left though. You wouldn't have taken them.
I don't know. I would have took them. We would have been making something. We'd have been selling rose water. Like something would have came with that. But it was just the idea of like, certain these ambitious dreams and then just kind of having the dollar back on some of them.
But that right there was spectacular.
It taught us that though, to compromise and pivot and like see how we can make things work without it.
But for me, it was spectacular because I purposely stayed out of it. I just, my motto was tell me where I gotta be, what I gotta do, and how much. That's all I wanted to do.
That's how you be a good husband.
I ended up doing more than that. But I'm hearing bits and pieces, and then we were at the last minute we were putting stuff together. So you see bits, but when you walk in there, like especially because I was there as it was coming together the whole day, you start to see piece by piece, and then you actually see it. When you come in, you see the vision. You know what I mean? Stuff is set up, and then when we added those signs, the big things at the end. In fact, I kept one. I got one in the garage. When we added those things at the end, it was like wow. It really was like something you see on TV. Because you walk in and you see the big purpose and everything, and you saw the whole vision just kind of come together. And then when you go into the ballroom, I still think they were big, but you see the centerpieces on the table. It was like they were just everywhere. People commented like, "Yo, who did it? Where did it come from?" I said, "Well, she did it." But I mean, it was a team that did it. But it was
so we had a little factory going.
Yeah, I know. In the last couple of days, man, like your
your
mom did a great job putting the plans together.
She did.
We run the
Mom. Shout out to Mom.
I gotta tell you a story about that, man. First we did it. She said, we went to the dollar store and we got phone. The things in the dollar store, Michael's. We got it, and it was too low in there. So then I had to go to Five Below and buy soccer balls. Because she saw on TV that somebody used soccer balls. So we used soccer balls and then put some of the foam on top of the soccer balls. So it worked out pretty cool though. So they would sit up and be stable. But she did. She was very creative on that, man. And she worked it out.
There's a lot of creativity. But I just want to get like you and Andrew, like how everything came together. Was it like everything y'all wanted?
Yeah, I think so. Because it probably were maybe like minor, small things here and there that we wish we could go back and do differently or get a little bit more of. But for the most part, like the overall day, just everybody enjoying it, and the vision that she had, and I was like coming together with some of the things that she wanted to see happen was there, and I was just happy to see all my friends and family and everybody having a good time. Like that's really what kind of. But the one thing I was disappointed in was I didn't get to participate in the cocktail hour, and not for the drinks, the violinist.
We all missed it.
The violinist. Yeah, I heard he was spectacular.
Yeah, I wanted to catch it too. I wanted to catch it too.
Playing all the hits.
I wanted to catch it too, man. So we were laughing because some kind of way I got thrust into the lead role because everybody kept coming to me like, "This ain't my wedding." Like,
She rolled for.
but whenever something was going wrong, like the lady kept saying, "Yo, what about this? What about this? What about that? What about that?" So your mom got some free something out the kitchen. I think she asked for something. They said that's not on the menu, so she went and got something else, man. Oh, but it was cool. Y'all look peaceful. Y'all did. Y'all look peaceful, man. You look like you were having fun.
Tried to stay together most of the night.
The photo booth was a smash hit because the
Yeah,
line
it
was
was like,
long. The line was long. Oh,
It was the first one where you just get the photo, then it was like you get the keychain a little bit later.
just people, and some people got out there and thought they were in a Broadway hit or modeling gig because they want to take 12 pictures. Like,
no photos, yes.
Yeah, but it was good. That was really good.
It was definitely, like I said, a great time just to see everybody have fun. And I mean, again, the planning part was a little stressful, but then like once I started settling in and started to think about like, all right, like some of these things, even though I feel like it may be a little much, I was like, it's ultimately to have a good time and create this moment with my friends and family. So,
but from my perspective, and you have
and I'm gonna get it back. I just was like, y'all had to.
But from my perspective and from the guest perspective, it turned out great. Yeah. It did. Everything flowed, man. Only what's really deep behind the scenes, but everybody else is like, yo, this turned out really.
People still talking about it, yeah. And that's what I think that's what we wanted to have is an event, wedding that people would have been happy to have been at. And some jealous that they weren't there.
It was crazy. It was, and it was funny.
Just be happy for our love.
Just ask, people send me pictures. I see you send me the pictures. People take a lot of pictures too. Oh, that was cool.
We definitely wanted to make it a photogenic event.
Man. Yeah, but it came natural because, like you said, you had people who hadn't seen each other for a while. And there were people from so many different walks of life. Yeah, it was some people from different walks of life, man, which was made it cool. Like it was funny to have, Biblical Weinstein sitting over there with Coach. It was like,
both bald white guys.
Yeah. Two totally different personalities, though. But it was cool, man. And
the white people was in there for my basketball career. That's great.
But then watching Tommy and Murph and everybody just kind of fit right in, man. It was pretty cool, man. And then it was Lewis being there with his family. That was.
I think I think that was one moment that stands out the most for me is just walking down and kind of that walk was long, but just seeing everybody, like it just
got so quiet though.
Right, it was quiet. Phones was out, like people smiling, and just is like all eyes on me, and just one person at a time, just like making the dots. Oh, that's that person, that person, that person, that person.
The thing that really that I really had to hold back on was there were so many people who looked like they were so proud, which was kind of funny. Like Coach and his wife was like, you could tell they were like proud. They both sat up like, they were looking. There were so many people like they were just so proud of the moment, man, and that speaks volumes to who both of you are. It does. It speaks volumes. Now that was someone who just came for the party, but
I mean, so his life,
but
for the party. But it was. I think the one thing was just like afterwards, at the end of the night, it feels like a blur. Everything.
I told you that, man. For them, they remember. But for me, it's just moments, things that happen, and it's funny because I go back and look at the pictures, like, man, that person was there, or that happened. So it's kind of funny, man. But
going back and hearing people's stories, and I want to hear more people's stories, honestly, like their perspective.
Oh, I got a few.
And I mean, I've heard quite a few so far, and I'm sure there's plenty more with just all the guests that we had. It was a great day, and I'm happy that everything that we planned kind of came into fruition that day, and the things that we knew in terms of like, you know, people would be pleased with how our wedding looked, and just the DJ would be a good fit for us, and you know, everything was great. I hate this to be cliche, and like I don't feel like a lot of people probably can say that. There were again things, I'm not gonna lie, like for instance, we wish that we probably got more pictures from the photographer at certain points in times. But I feel like it was
Video
partial.
of the ceremony, but
Yeah, I'm still waiting to get that. It's just continues in itself. But
Hopefully we got good sound.
oh yeah, oh my goodness. That's the all right. So if I did the sound, how that y'all, I heard y'all did a sound check, and then as soon as we start the wedding ceremony, the sound starts going in.
20 minutes. I was late. I was late getting dressed.
20 minutes is a long time.
Remember remember you called me. That's where I was at.
That's a long time.
Remember you called me and you said I just happened to come down because they were having a difficulty with the sound. So the lady said, "Yo, can you come down and make sure?" So I came down because you know it was the two parts. The menu, which was not the seating chart, was two parts, which is genius, by the way. You know, you had to stick them on there. Shout out to the two Army girls because they had that thing perfect. They lined it up perfect, man. Cut the white edges off.
We built it, so
no, but I mean, nobody was expecting the white edges to be on there, and you had to line that thing up perfect because the name would have been off. It looked jacked up.
Oh,
yeah, what they did, but it was just interesting because he said, "Why you down? You might as well do the sound check." So I thought we were gonna do it right then. He said we might as well go outside. So we were outside for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we had to do it outside.
So I'm thinking, you know, well, at this point it didn't matter because you know, it still kind of was sketchy. And then I didn't think he must have left the mic inside because I kept walking to get a mic, and he was like,
"Yeah, he had to run and get it."
Yeah, but it was good. It was good. I really enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. You know, it was an honor to be able to do that, to officiate your kid's wedding. Both
vows were good,
but the son, man, yeah, you know, and I kept it short.
Yeah, that was
I was
great.
proud of myself.
We jumped the broom well, nobody fell. Yeah. It was definitely
the funny moment was I said to Cole, "Why didn't y'all smile?" Suzanne told us not to smile. She said, "No, don't be laughing and joking. They misinterpreted a smile. They all still be like."
Sometimes it was a little drill sergeant-esque.
Well, she had it because they didn't smile. They looked like, you look at the pictures, man. They look like, yo.
Yeah, but no, it was, like I said,
it was cool, man. You know, to see Jared, to see Rodney, to see the different sections of your life when you see the, you know, to see Chucky, you know, knowing that even Rashid, you know, you look at the different you know, you see the different parts of life. I think that was pretty cool, man.
Yeah, really cool. It definitely was like just kind of almost from elementary, middle school, high school.
Yeah,
to college, adulthood, people that I met along the way from work,
and people that you've known.
Yeah, it was just like bringing all of those different pieces of my life together for that one day.
And it was truly a harmonious event.
And I think that's actually the interesting part too, is like seeing people who I know, you know, kind of being that central point of connection. And they all got an opportunity to kind of talk and meet each other, and they all felt and thought highly of each other. You know what I mean?
And it was funny how they were trying to connect the people.
For most of them.
It was funny how they were trying to connect the dots. Like, we know, it was, that part was really funny. How I connected the dots. And I was laughing because the whole day I was known as your dad. It was pretty funny in person. And so, you know, and I felt bad because I didn't know any of them. And they were like talking to me, like, you know, I'm like, okay, do I know you, kind of thing? Yeah. So,
I mean,
so it was two funny parts that I gotta say. So I'm not gonna say the name, but it's somebody that I work with that was telling everybody that it's like, yo, Scott, I was like, what do you know for Legacy? How do you not work for Legacy?
What about what?
Yeah, about Legacy. That I work for Legacy. So I thought that was funny too, man. And he was like, I was like, what? Yeah. So
at the wedding?
Yeah. so this part is funny, right? I gotta tell you this, and I gotta see this on there. So she called out of work. I get back to work, right?
Called out of work to be at the wedding?
Yeah. So I get back to work. I go back on the Wednesday, which I really didn't, but I had stuff to do. So I walk in and like, well, I heard it was a great wedding. I was the wedding. I'm like, how do you know? I'm like, I didn't tell anybody. Like, what's going on? How does everybody know it was our full wedding? Yeah. Then finally somebody said, yo, because when she called out, she was to work, she called out. And immediately And the reason she gave was because he was going to my son's wedding. I'm like, what? So everybody was like, when I got back, everybody's like, I'm like, wow, these people know. So I thought that was pretty funny, man.
It's power play.
Gee,
It
it's power.
it is power play. That's smart. I'm out because he out. We out.
I thought that was pretty funny. I gotta get some pictures from
that. Was a power. That was definitely a power play.
People know, like people, the person on the front desk, everybody's like, yo, don't they know?
Wait till we post these.
I'm gonna follow me, so it's like, how do these people know?
When we get these pictures and images and we can post them up online, it's gonna be.
Yeah, your mom is driving me crazy about that, man. I don't see new pictures. They're the same pictures. Like Angela sent us some pictures the other day, right? You know, we already had those pictures. I said, she don't know.
And probably have a photo.
I mean, I wish we would have got some more. And I didn't think to get some more Lewis, but yeah. And the family, I didn't think about that.
Yeah, like definitely.
I would say this: the amount of people telling me, "Oh, you're next." Look, I'm back.
Well, you don't even be next. You're the last one. I mean,
I love it because you know what? That's the lane that I was in when I was just kind of either engaged or dating, and you go to functions like that. That's all you're gonna get. And then now from here on, I mean, just because I did it, I ain't definitely gonna hear.
Well, look, even your hand looks funny with the ring. When you came in, I was like, man, you got a ring on, man. That's
yeah.
So, but Devin goes. So after I gave you the cufflinks, right? Mm-hmm. So Devin walks up to him. You that? Did you guys really give you those cufflinks? I mean, what do you think? I made that still? You know?
I mean, because I was like, those.
I learned a lot this year.
Those cufflinks specifically.
Yeah. Did you see them?
I did.
Don't look that anymore.
Huh?
They don't look like that anymore.
I did look at them, but I was like, this looks like somebody definitely just wrote this.
Like, whoa. No, not the ones I gave you.
Oh, yeah.
The ones I had on.
Okay.
The ones I had on.
All right.
I was like, okay. He done made the story out. I have two pairs he gave me. Still have.
It was definitely I definitely enjoyed that, honestly. The cufflinks. I'm disappointed I didn't get rid of there.
Yeah, we were cufflinks was a tough one, man. We were trying to figure out what they get, and there's so many things.
That was perfect. I actually was like, that's something I would love to kind of continue to hand down and do like those.
So we got a couple seconds left, man. So what do you think about the trade, man? They trade PG for in draft picks for let's do from the Celtics.
Jaylen Brown.
I did not know.
Oh, you didn't know?
So, no, I saw that say trade. Yeah. I didn't look at it.
That's what I was saying when we first got here. I was
like, you said something about Jaylen Brown. I said, oh,
he's a Sixer.
Oh, he's here.
Oh, they waiting? Yeah, Sixer, man. Oh, you know him.
Who's going to have this clip?
To hold on to VJ.
They kept at VJ, Maxey, and drafted.
And the group, dude, we just drafted?
Yeah, they gave up two first round draft picks. Didn't say what number they were. 2 second round picks.
Second round
and Paul George. So they made that one because they unloaded the contract.
That's easy.
They unloaded the big contract. So, now we can
find
out. Do you want me to drop them?
You know what's funny? Embiid and Jaylen Brown was getting into it. Remember that?
Yeah.
Some like teammates.
Embiid to go.
Right.
Well, I think he may be next. Yo, they can find
what could you get for that?
I don't know. Utah won.
Utah wants it?
Yeah,
so what?
All they did is get rid of Walker Kessler.
Yeah, I can't see going because you need a big back.
Jaren Jackson's gonna play
something. You need a big back. Wow. Yeah. Well, congratulations, 76.
Yeah, everybody fired up now, boy.
That's the best trade I've ever. Well, Jimmy Butler, I like this.
This is the first time in a long time I'm laughing because this is
this one, yeah.
This is the first time in a long time that this time of year people are actually talking about the Sixers and not TV.
Oh, he can give him the ball and he go get a bucket for sure.
But
man!
But how do you handle Maxey though? Because Maxey,
you just let him go. Jaylen Brown don't need a lot of shots.
He don't. But I'm just saying you just got Maxey and BG. You got the Mesher man and
let them go.
I like Jaylen Brown, but I'm trying to figure out like how's he gonna fit in. Coaching wise and all that.
I think Jaylen Brown's comfortable with being the guy in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Like once, like how just coast in the fourth quarter boom.
Take
It's
him
his. It's his. You let him
Take him
go.
home.
Yeah. And he the perfect guy for that. Like just to, cause he.
Well, on his roster, you gotta figure
Oh,
he gonna get.
we got rid of Kelly Oubre, and I was like,
Well, they get ready.
I know, but I'm just saying we didn't get him back. But then getting him, I'm like, okay.
But I think Brown. The thing I do like about it is now you gotta play Brown. You gotta play them 1-on-1.
Yeah.
You can't double max and you can't double, Brown. You can't do it both at the same time. So you gotta give something up. So Embiid can just be healthy for a little bit, man, and stay in his role.
Look at Jaylen Brown did that
Sixers,
that Celtics team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you have Peyton Pritchard and not against those guys, but
well,
now you got Tyrese Maxey,
DJ. We're gonna see if he's going to the next level.
Man. Oh man, you got rid of Paul George.
Sixers she did.
Yeah, he really tried. It was funny because
it was basketball.
But I'm gonna tell you, it was funny because it worked out because he played his best basketball in the playoffs.
And
he did. He finished strong, and he played his best basketball in the playoffs since he's been there.
He said, "We are not going to do what we did with Tobias. We are not going to run and milk this out. We want to get this off the books now."
I don't even know who coaching on that.
Oh man,
they still got the same coach.
Yeah, so we gonna run in the back
I
of
ain't
the
been paying attention.
John always had to leave.
Yeah,
I'm like you. I would drew the bus to get him out.
Oh man, I'm excited about that. Did not know.
You want me to Uber do that?
Yeah, because I listen. Jaylen Brown.
Yeah. We rising above. Let me tell you how it's done. Above average black man, shining like the sun. With Chris Sr., Chris Jr.
Still have to forgive. We do. First day he got there,
DJ get black, working out together.
And you go back to him. That's because Brown can guard some bit. He's
a go. He would something like that. But anyway, I told you, he had that on top.
When they play Boston.
I know he's tight. He's in the conference series. Yeah, Miami, you thought you was doing something. He likes to
Each episode a journey.